Hey folks, welcome to Old Ass Movie Reviews. I'm Scott. The guy above me is Dave. Stop that. And anyway, today's review is we are continuing our theme of drag movies, drag queens, drag movies, things related to the such with To Wong Fu. Thanks for everything, Julie Newmar. This was a nice movie.
I like this movie.
I like it too, but I will say this. I'm just going to start real quick with this movie. I'll give a real quick setup of it, and this is what I pulled off IMDb. After jointly winning a local drag queen pageant in New York City, Noxzema Jackson, played by Wesley Snipes. Okay, just get that visual in your head.
Right.
And Vita Bohem, Patrick Swayze, win the right and are given the round-trip airfare to compete in the Drag Queen of America pageant in Hollywood, California. Now,
that's the setup.
That's the setup, but we're going to add one more layer. There's a young drag queen, Chichi Rodriguez, played by John Leguizamo.
Right.
And poor Chichi. You feel bad for Chichi. She's a little clueless, just very naive, very
and a loud mouth.
And a loud mouth too. Yes. Yeah. Just to annoy a young kid that Vita takes pity on. And Noxzema doesn't want anything to do with this character. So you can see the setup. Got Noxzema Jackson. Oh my God, what a great name.
Noxzema? Your name is Noxzema?
This is another road trip movie.
They work really well. Drag queens and road trip movies seem to work really well. I mean, two out of three so far.
I think any road trip movie I've seen, there's just, they're not all been drag queen movies, but there's, when you get interesting characters and you put them in that situation, it does become entertaining. It becomes fun. It's good. This movie, I was telling you, I struggled with a little bit to connect with it at the beginning.
Right.
And for me, it's because I didn't know exactly what I was watching. And what I mean by that is this movie is a comedy. It is meant to be a comedy. Yeah. And it has a little bit of drama. When you take something like Priscilla, Queen of the Desert, is a drama with a little bit of comedy. Or a lot of comedy, but it is a heavier movie. This is a much more lighter, more fun.
They had heavier moments in Priscilla.
Yes. This is more fun with another good message coming from here. And as I texted you when you were watching a different movie was I liked this movie a lot when it turned into Queer Eye. And this was a fun movie at that point when they got to Snydersville and it's like, okay, I'm sold. I'm in. Let's watch. So
I like when you said about Penn showing up as the sheriff.
Chris Penn. Oh my God.
He's trying to hit on, I mean, he's basically going to try as a sheriff to rape a woman, but not realizing that Patrick Swayze is a guy. He like lifts up the skirt and tries to,
get your hand off my dick. Yeah.
There. And he's like, and that's the one time Patrick Swayze sounds like a guy in this whole movie. Like, get your hand off my dick. And then he shoves him so hard that Dullard basically falls down like
Dollard,
a good 6 foot.
Dollard. I mean, it's a typo on the badge.
It's a misspelling. It's a misprint.
That's another running gag.
But he pushes him so hard that he guy's got to fly 6 foot.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like he used the stuntman or anything when they did that move. So I think the two of them probably worked that out pretty well. But he knocks, and the guy hits his head on the ground, and they think he's dead. They're like, oh, shit. I killed somebody. But Patrick Swayze, I'm sorry, you can't feel bad if you did kill him. Sorry, I'd have drove off.
I would have
drove off too. You just tried to rape somebody. And
look at who they are. They are not getting out of this at all. They have only one choice but to run. And of course, let's put into context here that given the opportunity to get any car they wanted, they chose probably the worst possible car, a gigantic 80s Cadillac, late 70s, early 80s giant land yacht, convertible.
Pale yellow.
just because of its looks. And yeah, it was a fine car, but they were trying to get him in the Corolla so they could at least make it to where they were going.
The guy even tells him, I mean, talk about a bomb in the future. This car's not going to make it.
They're telling you at the beginning, yeah.
But that's fun. They break down. They have to get towed to this podunk nowhere town. Luckily the boy shows up.
London.
Jason London shows up and gives him a ride. His name is Bobby Ray.
Bobby Ray. Yeah.
Gives him a ride to the town where they basically move into the guy whose towing company is going to go get their car and fix it up. And they from that point on, they're thinking they're going to be there one night. And the next day they find out they're going to have to be there till Monday because
the weekend
can't get there till Monday.
Yeah.
So all of a sudden they're there for 3 days because it's like Friday night or Friday morning, whenever they're talking to the guy. He's like, it's going to be your Monday. So it takes 3 days for them to be in this little podunk, nothing dirtball town. And I just love what Noxzema says to Vita. You thought the Dust Bowl was over, honey? It's like, look around.
I love the banter and the comments and everything.
Yeah, the writing in this was better than Slay.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I think I see where Slay borrowed a lot of like, this is clever. We can use it, but we'll put our own spin on it. And I think they did a good enough job. But like you said, John Leguizamo is Chi-Chi. You feel kind of bad for Chi-Chi, but my God, he's got such a big mouth.
He does. Now, there's a lot going on here, and they're stuck in this podunk town that only has one thing going for it, the Strawberry Festival, where they just go set up in the middle of town, they eat a bunch of strawberries, and they go home. Stockard Channing is great in this role. I didn't recognize her for the longest time, and it's like, oh my.
I just love Stockard Channing. The only thing that would have made this movie better is if she would have sang.
Absolutely. You know what? That was a missed opportunity. This whole movie could have been a musical.
How great would have that? Because
Patrick can sing.
Patrick Swayze can sing.
Yeah.
I'm almost sure John Leguizamo can sing. They could have got Wesley Snipes to do something.
Oh, but Wesley could sing. We don't know.
Stockard Channing belting out a song about love.
We should have had a moment. There should have been a moment.
Yeah. Anyway, lost moment.
Yeah, sorry. Now I want to go watch Grease.
Yeah, right. But I like the interplay between John Leguizamo, Patrick Swayze, and Wesley Snipes when it comes to Bobby Ray.
Mm-hmm.
Vita's telling him you can't lead that boy on. He's young and impressionable. He's basically saying this kid's a virgin. He has no idea what he's getting into, and you should know better. And that's another thing. They actually point out, they're like, there are rules to being a drag queen. There are rules to dressing up, doing what we do.
Mm-hmm.
You can't mislead someone.
Yeah.
You can't make somebody think you are something that you're not. We do this because this is who we are, but never have we told somebody that we're something that we're not. We just don't mention it.
And this is how they laid out the character arc for Chi-Chi.
Right.
Really early on, like there's 4 rules or whatever to becoming a queen. And I didn't catch it till near the end. It's like, son of a bitch, Chi-Chi. They brought Chi-Chi along from a naive nothing to a full-blown queen by the end of the movie. And it was good. I was shocked at the ending. It's like, oh, Chi-Chi.
Were you?
Yeah.
That's funny. That's funny. I had forgot how it ended. I remembered Vita winning. But it makes much more sense that Chi-Chi won. And that's just the way he was dressing. And then you see him in full drag, like an actual drag queen drag. And you're like, oh, yeah, 4 steps. That's step 4. He got all 4 steps. Because I think
Did you notice? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. I was just going to say that I think like that last step, whenever he comes down and says, to the little girl, the other girl, like, you can have him, sweetie. I don't want him, he's nothing to me. And he just kind of turns his back on everybody. And you can see him just lean against the wall like, shit, I just missed my opportunity. Like, but he didn't, because that would have destroyed that other kid. It would have destroyed him. And the other two knew it, but that was when they say step four.
Yeah, and
So they tell him, you got step four.
I'm gonna call out John Leguizamo for a small scene. Him just walking out as the new Chi-Chi. The way he carried himself showed confidence, his demeanor, and
Right.
we only see it for a few seconds, and it's like, holy cow, Chi-Chi that's not the Chi-Chi I've seen. And it was just,
Exactly.
it's not yeah, the dress does help, but it was just the way he carried that character down that walk, and it's like, holy
Yeah, the
crap.
way he walked towards the camera.
It was not
Right.
the same Chi-Chi, and it's like,
Right.
damn, well done.
And I said something to Kat, like when I worked in other stores up in New York State, I knew a lot of Hispanic women. And the funny thing is, a lot of those Hispanic women reminded me of John Leguizamo
Ah,
in this movie, because a lot of them dressed like that. A lot of them talked kind of like that, because they were from the Bronx, they were from
right.
Brooklyn, they were from those kind of neighborhoods. And I just chuckled, because I'm sitting there thinking, somebody just watching that character would think, oh, how terrible is that? But it's not terrible. He was basing his characterization on people in his neighborhood, on the
Mm-hmm.
women that he had around him. So that's
Yeah,
what Chi would base his people on.
yeah,
Vita did it for, like, probably his mom and his aunts and all those women in his
oh,
family. And
Patrick
then
Swayze
Wesley
made a
Snipes'
beautiful woman.
character, Noxzema, probably based him on all the women that he knew.
Yeah,
But yeah, Patrick Swayze, he just, and it's the three different characters. There's three different
very
types.
different.
You had Patrick Swayze, who was the matriarch, but still very womanly. You had Wesley Snipes, who was the tough bitch. And then you had
Mm-hmm.
John Leguizamo as the teenage girl, like just
Yeah,
being all out
naive.
there.
Yeah.
Did you catch at the end and the night scene when the three of them are up on the balcony and they're doing their little wave dance to everybody?
Uh-huh. What a
Did you notice their color schemes?
no.
The three fairy godmothers from Cinderella.
I do now. I do now.
Mhm. It
And
was the
that's
first thing I
appropriate.
thought of. I
That's
was looking at them
appropriate.
on there, and I'm like, "Who? That's very familiar." That's, and then I was like, "Oh my
And
God, it's
that's
the
got to be
fairy
deliberate
godmothers."
because
It was
that's
perfect.
what they were. That's what they
Yeah,
were for
yeah.
that
I
town.
like at the end when Stockard Channing looks at Patrick Swayze or Revita and says, "I don't think of you as a woman. I don't think of you as a man. I think of you as my guardian angel." And he just like, well, I think that's healthy. And he turns around, he just kind of, he's very proud of himself, and he walks to the car, and it's like, oh my God, you just pumped that guy's head up like 10 times
Yeah.
bigger than it needed to be. But that line is so sweet that you just imagine, they never show any of this, but I always just imagine that on the way back to New York, they stop in that town.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't you? You know?
Yeah, it was a fun movie. There's a lot of moments in it. It's definitely a 90s movie with some of the
Yeah.
humor. Uh
Yeah.
the stereotype of the homophobic sheriff by Chris Penn is just wonderful. I died. So he's investigating, trying to find out where these drag queens went. And you see his notepad, and it's like places homos go. And it's like, oh my God. It's offensive, but it was funny as hell. So,
Floral stores.
oh,
What was what was a couple of the other one? The library or something
yeah.
like that. It's like the museum.
But
It
what
just,
got me is when he's in a bar and he's sitting there by himself and he's trying to work it all out how two guys actually have an attraction for each other, and he's doing it out loud, talking about
oh,
their stubble, and it's so homoerotic as he's sitting there talking this.
too
It's
many,
hilarious because the people
too
are like
many
looking, it's like,
choices.
what?
two men, what's he say? Two men embracing, and one
Yes.
your hand curling around the hair on the other one's chest, and those three guys are just looking at him like, "What the hell is wrong with
What
this
is going
guy?"
on? He's just out here speaking this out loud, and it's like, yeah, it's pretty funny.
Oh God, that was funny. I like there is the big payoff for Stalker Channing's husband.
Oh
That
yes.
dirtbag. Oh my
Oh,
God.
what a
I was waiting.
dirtbag.
I knew that scene was coming because I have seen this movie once or twice before. And I knew the scene was coming. I was just waiting. I was like, oh, I could have swore this already happened. Oh, but they have to really build you up to the scene.
Hmm.
Two things are happening at once. Stalker Chaney's husband is basically assaulting her. He's slapping her
Yeah.
around upstairs. Vita is being very mad about it and having an argument with Chi Chi about like being in control and always having control. You need to mind your own business. Naxima's not much more help. She's like, girl, you need to mind your own business because you just
Yeah.
put your nose at everybody. And then Vita's like, no, I'm not going to put up with this shit. And he's so mad at Chi Chi, but if he punches Chi Chi, he break Chi Chi in half. He just
Yeah.
he just destroy that
Well, it's
kid.
Patrick
So
Swayze, for Christ's sake.
he takes his anger and he goes upstairs with it. And the other two chase him like, oh shit. And what's funny is this Patrick Swayze is in heels. And he kicks that door open in high heels.
Hmm.
And he just walks into that room like he owns the place. And the lady's like, no, 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 it's okay. And he's like, pushes Stalker Channing outside to Noxema. He says, you take so and so outside, okay? I want to have a chat with whatever the husband's name is. And
Virgil or
the guy's
something.
like,
Yeah.
well, what are you going to do about it? He's like, you like to hit women, huh? Well, some women need hitting. He's like, you know what? I agree. Some men need hitting. And he just slaps. I mean, he backhands that dude, almost knocks him ass backwards. He comes back up and then he slaps him again. And that one does knock him ass backwards. And then he just beats the shit out of the guy and throws him out of the house,
It's awesome.
all in heels.
It's awesome. It's awesome. So what's great about this movie, and just like the other movie we saw, Slay, the people come around to their new drag queen friends, and
Yeah.
everybody in this movie learns something from each other, and they
Yeah.
help each other, and it has a really good message. I like this movie. I like this movie a lot. It's like I said, to me, it just, I don't know why it wasn't connecting. Probably because I was thinking it was something different than what it is.
Right.
It presents its comedy differently. So that's,
I really like there's a friendship that develops between Noxema and the little old lady that everybody thinks is deaf.
I love that. Oh
But
my
their
God, that was
friendship is
touching.
absolutely so pure. And Noxema's talking about some actress. I can't remember who she is, but going through it's the first like the
Yeah.
first big black actress back in the day
Dorothy Dandridge.
before the codes and everything hit and everybody just started getting shut down for having a different opinion. And she's going through the list, blah, 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 blah. She did this, and then she did this, then she did this, and then she did this, and then she did this. And the old lady's like, no, she did blah, blah, blah first. And she's
Yeah,
like,
like the first time she's talked.
yeah, she stops and she looks at her and she's like, names the movie, and then she goes on to the rest of the list. And then she's like, and then she did, she's looking at her, and then the old lady like finishes like the next couple of movies. And she's like, are you talking? Because the lady hasn't said anything to anybody in years. She
Well,
just
since her
doesn't.
husband died.
Yeah,
So,
and it's
and
so sad.
all they had was a theater, and she had this fondness for the old movies, which is like, oh well, this is sweet.
Oh, that friendship
Yeah.
between those two was that was good. And for me, I always liked Wesley Snipes anyway. But to see him be able to play that part, I mean, you
Mhm.
never buy Wesley Snipes as a drag queen. I'm sorry, I don't.
Fair point.
But then I've seen some drag queens that kind of look like Wesley Snipes. So I'm
Yeah,
like, maybe he wasn't so far up, but he's just so well built. I mean, his arms, he's got the big arms, and
it's it's hard for somebody like that, probably. Like you said, the
he
build.
he played that part so well. They all did. They all played their parts very well.
Absolutely.
And then you just have that friendship between Noxema, who's very, to that point, very self-centered. Like I'm all about Noxema, getting what Noxema wants, and I don't care
Mhm.
about anybody else. Maybe I like Vita. Okay, I like Vita. I don't like the little Hispanic girl because she's just getting on my last nerve.
Oh, we're getting
But
on
she
everybody's.
she meets that lady and she just falls in love with her. She just
Yeah.
thinks she's the greatest thing, and they have this very sweet friendship. And I think I like that. That was a good, that was, I want to know where that came from because really that script didn't look like it had anything like that coming that way. And
Yeah.
then that little old lady shows up and it's almost like somebody went, oh, you know what? That's her. That's the
I would
friend
I
next
would
to the TV.
argue that was put in there because Noxzema needed that. That character
Yeah.
had nothing if it didn't have that lady. We've got Chi-Chi with Jason London,
Yeah.
and you've got uh, Vita with Stockard Channing's character.
Yeah.
You have these friendships that develop and these bonds that are made,
Mhm.
and it's really neat. It's well done. Well done. It's
Really well acted, really, really well written, directed. The shots, there's nothing wrong with this movie. It's really well done
it's
all
good.
around. And at the time of this movie, I remember that every guy in Hollywood was trying to get these three roles. Like every male lead actor. These were two really big names and one good big stand-up comedian. And everybody was trying to get these roles. And these three landed them. And I can't, honest to God, I can't imagine anybody in that time period doing these roles and
Yeah.
doing them justice like these guys did. You know, and that I think it's a really good movie. If you just like a good story, good character development, and just a good like road trip, this
Another
is
road
it.
trip.
This all works. Another road trip, three in a row.
3 road trips in a
Three in a
row.
row.
So yeah, so that means next week we're gonna have to do another gay road trip or drag
Another
road trip, something.
gay drag road
Big
trip,
gray road
or
gay. Okay, yeah,
or at
we'll
least a
find
drag.
something.
Got to do a drag show.
Drag racing,
Drag
gay
racing.
drag racing movie.
Gay
That's it.
drag
There's got to be.
racing. Don't they have that? Don't they have RuPaul's Drag Race? Do they run
I
on
was thinking
heels?
more the cars, but
Oh, got it, got it.
yeah.
Jump up on their shoulders. Go, 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 go.
All right. Yeah. So look, I really like To Wong Fu. Thanks
Yeah.
for everything, Julie Newmar, who actually makes an appearance in the movie.
Yes. The very
So
end.
this is definitely a recommended watch,
Mhm.
Dave.
Yeah. Three good movies in a row. I don't
Yeah,
know what's
awesome.
going
So, folks, if you like our show, hit the like, hit the share, hit the subscribe, and we will catch you next week with some other road trip movie of some kind, maybe,
on.
hopefully.
Some kind.
Later.